It has to do with subtext a lot, actually, which is essentially how women communicate most of the time. Especially in a bar, in a space or in a situation where the context of what is happening is that she knows. I mean, women know, even if you use like these openers we give, like the best opener in the world, these indirect openers, is it weird if you wash your can opener or whatever the ones that we give.
Right.
The women still know deep down that you're hitting on them. They know because you're in a bar and you're talking to her, right? So the subtext there is always going to be, what are you thinking in terms of, like some guys go in there thinking, shit, okay, I want this girl to like me. I don't want to fuck this up. I want this girl to like me. And when they think that in their head, they actually subcommunicate that. And women will pick up on that. So it's actually not a good idea to be thinking that when you're going in. You don't want to be thinking, I really hope I don't mess this up. I really hope she likes me. I really hope that I can get her to like me. Because as soon as you do that, she's going to pick up on that, and that's going to creep her out. A lot of it has to do with changing your subtext to be more beneficial for you.
Right.
So for me, my subtext when I go in, if it's sort of women that seem to be like women that would give me a bit of trouble, give me a little bit, maybe not attitude, but make me work for it a little bit more than other women would, then I'm going to go in with the attitude of, or with the subtext of, I dare you to try to blow me out, as we say. I dare you to try to reject me because I'm so charming, it's not going to work. So that's sort of the idea I have in my head when I'm talking to them. So when I'm talking to them, I'm basically subcommunicating that. You'll find that when you can do this and you can do it well, and the trick to doing it well is just actually believing that. A lot of the time, they won't even give you any tests at all. They'll just sort of instinctively know that you'll pass them. In fact, a lot of the women that I end up dating, I actually ask them, when was it that you were attracted to me? Like at what point did you become attracted to me? They would say, pretty much right away. And I was like, well, why though? And it's happened more than once where the women have said, because you just gave me that vibe that even if I wanted to reject you, it wouldn't have worked.
You said visualization, and I was actually just about to ask you how important is that in this process?
Oh man, visualization is huge. The one reason, like I'm sure you've heard of the 3-second rule. It's been around forever.
Yep.
You have 3 seconds to approach a girl after you see her.
Or else,
One of the biggest reasons why that's so important is because after 3 seconds, your brain naturally starts having negative visualizations. It starts thinking what might happen and what might go wrong, and what are you going to do in case that goes wrong. So you may think, what am I going to say? What if she says this? Oh fuck, if she says that, what am I going to do? Oh my God, then I'm going to be, oh God. And all of a sudden, what amounts to simply saying maybe hello, or simply asking a question, turns into this huge, massive problem that you can't even work out. And by the time you get up there, you're already trying to figure out 10 steps ahead, and you just come across like a weirdo. And you're going to get rejected right away.
Right.
So it's important to, first of all, follow the 3-second rule. But even if you're not, try to have positive visualization. I used to visualize everything going perfectly right before. Not necessarily the exact wording of what I would use, but mostly just sort of the emotions that would be sort of communicated. So she's going to have a big smile on her face. They're going to be really excited to talk to me. They're going to be, really excited that I'm talking to them. Stuff like that. Visualize it in my head, sort of like look at their faces and print it in my brain with an image of them being excited to talk to me or having a good time. And then it would be easy. Or you could change the context of what you're doing. So something I used to tell students is, instead of them thinking, I'm going to hit on that girl, think about this. Well, what if you own the bar? What if you own the bar and you're going around, you're noticing all this money you're making? And if you've ever been to a bar, sometimes the owner does go around, and he doesn't tell anyone he's the owner. He just goes around and says, you guys having fun tonight? Yeah? All right, good. You guys having a good time? And people are naturally going to be like, yeah, we're having a good time, because the sort of what he's subcommunicating there is that maybe he runs the place, or he wants to make sure they're having a good time.
Right.
He's not subcommunicating, I'm hitting on them, right? So when you can sort of change the context of what you're doing in your head, even if it's a lie, even if it's not true, if you can trick your brain into believing that sort of subtext, then you can do that and get a good vibe from that.
Right.
Even if people would be like, who the hell was that guy? I don't know, but he seemed like
he had a good time.
He had a good time. And,
right.
We're having a good time. So,
right.
So you can trick yourself into doing these things if you have trouble approaching, or with these sort of negative beliefs you have in your mind beforehand. Mm-hmm. There's ways around that. Here's what I do. I set up a really good profile. I have really nice pictures. At least, I got a photographer friend of mine to take a few nice pictures, and I have some good ones that sort of really show who I am in terms of my personality, my lifestyle. I wrote a good profile, and I put it up there, and I hardly ever message girls, but I get about 2 messages a day from girls who've read my profile and have messaged me.
Okay.
Now, most of those girls probably not going to be compatible with me, either physically or emotionally or personality-based and stuff like that. Maybe not. But I would say there's about 2 girls a week, out of those 2 a day, about 2 a week that I do, that are compatible with me.
Right.
And they're essentially served to me on a silver platter. Because they've already read my profile. They're already attracted to me. They already know what I am about and kind of a little bit of my lifestyle and stuff. And they made the first move. So that's 2 girls a week that I don't really have to do anything for, any effort to meet, that want to meet me and want to talk to me.
Right.
And there's no really upkeep on that. So that's the value that I saw in online dating. Even if only you get 1 girl out of the whole year, out of those 2 a week that you end up actually really liking, that's still, you don't really have to work for that, That's the one that was a girl that was presented to you. And I've met lots of really cool girls online dating, so there is a ton of really awesome girls out there that are trying this out. Your first picture you put on your profile, most online dating sites, that's your thumbnail, right? So when girls are sort of searching through all the men, that's your one little thumbnail that shows up, that your first picture. So that one's the most important picture.
Right.
And so the big thing you want to do for that first one is it should be a picture that stands out. Doesn't necessarily have to be a good picture. It's just one that has to stand out. So mine, for instance, is me wearing an eye patch, lean back, holding a beer with like my belly showing, and I look like a slob in it. But I look like a character. I look like who is this guy? What the hell? He's wearing an eye patch. He looks like a pirate, and he looks like he's very nonchalant, not a care in the world type thing. And so that is enough for get girls to click on it. And then when they read my profile, it's essentially saying how I'm this sort of I'm an asshole, but I'm kind of the I'm the asshole that like drives too fast and doesn't take shit from people, but kind of like the villain, but the villain you root for. And so my whole profile is basically describing this person who is me, but it's done in a way that sort of I'm not really taking it too seriously type thing. There's a lot of jokes thrown in there. I'm not really being too serious about what I want, or even saying what I want. It just kind of comes across and reads as it seems like this guy just took his time to. It's like I'm playing a practical joke on everyone that reads my profile.
One of the biggest parts of online dating, obviously, when you get on there is, for every 2 girls that you're getting a day, you're sending out messages.
Yeah. I mean, it is true. I do say that I get a lot of messages, but when obviously the most beautiful girls probably won't message you, right? Those are the ones you're gonna have to message.
Right.
In those situations, when I message a girl for the first time, again, I'm always trying to communicate in that first message that what I mentioned earlier, I'm not taking this seriously. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I may said something like, hey, this week I was thinking of robbing a bank, fleeing down to the ocean, and faking my own death. Scuba tanks in the trunk. Are you in? P.S. You should probably bring some sandwiches or something. No egg salad, though, because it smells like farts. So something like that. It's kind of a juvenile message, right? But the whole idea there is that I'm obviously not taking this too seriously. That's kind of a dumb message. When they read my profile, they're gonna be like, it's gonna fit in with that profile, right? I'm like, well, that's kind of a weird message. Look at my pictures and see, this guy looks interesting. And then they read my profile, and they're like, okay, that's why he sent that message. Because he's someone that just sort of seems like he doesn't give a shit and doesn't need this. And it's just goofing around. In fact, the last line of my profile even says, if I send you a really weird message, it's probably because I'm just fucking around with you.